In this video, I'm going to tell you about the top 25 incoming freshman recruits in the class of 2019. This video is a part of a three-part series talking all about the top 100 recruits, and there's so many stats to dive into. So let's stop stalling and start talking wrestling. Hey, my name is Josiah, host of the Fanco Wrestling Show on the Fanco Wrestling channel, where we talk all about wrestling news, tips, and lifestyle. And I am so excited to tell you today all about the incoming freshman guide for the class of 2019. There's so much information here, so many stats to dive into. I spent weeks compiling this data, and you will not find this anywhere else on the internet. I'm being 100% honest with you guys. There are so many stats here. I'm diving into, just to let you know about what exactly is included in these top 25 recruits, I'm diving into their records, their high school, their projected weight classes in college, where they're going to college, as well as, how many state titles they won. And what I think is really one of the most important things in looking at, why these recruits are ranked where they are, and is which tournaments did they wrestle in high school. And there are 6 top tournaments that I believe are the most important in being ranked in the top 100 if you win these tournaments and do well at these tournaments. And those tournaments are Powerade, Beast of the East, Escape the Rock, Super 32, you also have Ironman, and then what I think is another great tournament out west is Reno Tournament of Champions. And you'll see that with these top 25 recruits, a couple of them have won a combination of both. Some of them have won none, some of them have been to none. And then I also think it's important to look at how they did at an international level. And just to let you know, all of these, a lot of these stats I compiled from Flow Wrestling. So Flow Wrestling has it out there. I just compiled it, brought it all in tightly so we can compare these top recruits. So let's get right into this so we can start talking all about this. Getting into the number 25 recruit in the country. His name is Brennan Balmaceda, and he is going to Oklahoma State. So Brennan, right now, he won 4 state titles in Florida, and he wrestled at 160 pounds. He's looking to wrestle 157 in college at Oklahoma State under John Smith, and he right now in the projected lineup, or where he is in the lineup, you have Wyatt Sheets there right now. Now I see Brennan probably going to take a redshirt year next year, and I think a lot of these guys are. And I also want to point out before we get too far into this, these are the incoming freshmen. So these are guys who are graduating in 2019. These are not red shirts. These are not red shirts who are going to be, they already wrestled their redshirt freshman year. These are, potentially true freshmen just graduating. This past year, Brennan was 65-1. He had 1 loss to Sam Dover, number 9 from St. Ed's, at Ironman. So he did wrestle at Ironman, just did not win it. He actually took 2nd at Ironman, so he was a runner-up. A fellow Oklahoma State recruit that is coming in at the number 24 spot is Rhys Craft. So Rhys was number 4 ranked in his weight class, and he also wrestled at Ironman. So he actually won Ironman as opposed to Brennan. But getting into a little bit, he wrestles at 132 pounds in high school. And you may be wondering, going into 133 pounds in college, who's he going to run into? But Dayton Fix at Oklahoma State. So really, Whitcraft most likely is going to take that redshirt year so he can put a little bit of separation between him and Fix. And really, that gives Oklahoma State a very strong backup, this year as well as going into the future. He can be a real force to reckon with. As far as Dayton Fix and Whitcraft. Now, we can see him going up or down, but really 133 is probably where he's going to land. So, he actually beat a couple of other stats about him is he beat a fellow recruit in Colt Newton, and he was a 2-time state champion from Oklahoma, Broken Arrow High School. Into the number 23 recruit, Peter Christensen, who's number 2 at his weight class. Now, he's not going to Oklahoma State. In fact, he's going to Wisconsin. I don't want to say complete opposite, but he's going to Wisconsin, another Big Ten school. And his projected weight in college is 197 pounds. He wrestled 195 in high school. So, and like I said in my other video, is that 152 and 195 were the two highest recruited weight classes in the top 100 recruits. Make sure you check that video out if you haven't already. But as far as Christensen goes, he was a two-time state champ from Illinois. He didn't wrestle in any of the tournaments besides Ironman. So you see that he didn't win Ironman. He actually took second, and he lost to a guy that I believe we're going to be hearing a lot about over the next couple of years, AJ Ferrari of Blair. Now, Ferrari is not he's not an incoming freshman this year. He still has another year of eligibility in high school, but Ferrari's a guy we're going to be hearing about. But, you know, Christensen, he did take second in Ironman, and that's nothing to scoff at. So at the number 22 spot is Chris Donathan. So Donathan originally was one of the guys who was undecided until like today when I'm making this video. He was undecided, and he right now is actually he just committed to Tiffin College. So he's number 6 ranked in his weight class at 145 pounds, and he is a one-time state champ from Ohio, which is you know, a pretty phenomenal feat to win a state championship from Mason High School. Now, he wrestled, although he didn't win all the tournaments, he actually wrestled quite a few, and he did, you know, well at them placing. Ironman, he didn't place at that tournament. He lost a couple matches and was out, but he did wrestle Powerade, took second at Powerade, and then he wrestled at Super 32 and took 7th. So he wrestled 3 of these top 6 tournaments, which, like I said, that's really what Flow Wrestling and a lot of these other rankers look at, is these top 6 tournaments and how well you do at them. And moving on to the number 21 recruit in Chris Foca. So Foca is number 4 ranked in his weight class at 182 pounds in high school. He is a state champion from New Jersey at Bergen Catholic High School, and he's looking to go to Cornell. So he's committed to Cornell, and he's one of Cornell's really strong recruits. Cornell has 7 out of the top 100 recruits, which is more than any other school. So a very strong recruiting class for Cornell. Now, unfortunately for him right now, he has Max Dean at his weight class, and Max Dean is going to be a junior. So we'll probably see Chris take a redshirt freshman year to put a little bit of separation between those two. And, you know, because Max Dean, if you don't know, he was second in the national tournament this year, wrestled very, very strong, beat Miles Martin. And, you know, so Foca is going to have a little bit to reckon with there. But, you know, over the next couple of years, he can do really well. So although he, you know, looking at these tournaments, he won Beast of the East, and he placed 6th at Super 32. So he wrestled 2 of the top 6 tournaments. And another guy who actually, unfortunately, didn't wrestle this year due to an injury is Aiden Reeves. So Reeves was the number 1 ranked guy in his weight class at 126 pounds. He was a 2-time state champ from Iowa. Unfortunately, due to an injury at the beginning of the year, he wasn't able to wrestle, and so, you know, unranked and all that, which, you know, that's what it is, what it is. But he's actually going to Iowa State, and he'll be wrestling off against Alex Mackel, who is a junior. Probably at 125 pounds is where we'll see Reeves. So originally, you know, about Reeves, he was a Campbell recruit, ended up switching, and now he's at Iowa State. Both schools with very strong coaching staffs. But at 19, number 19 recruit is a guy from Blair Academy, and Michael Kalakaua. So Kalakaua is the number 1 ranked guy in his weight class in high school at 126 pounds. He is a 2-time state champ from New Jersey, wrestled really, really well, and he is committed to Penn. So he wrestled 2 of these top 6 tournaments. He wrestled Beats of the East and Ironman. At Ironman, he took 2nd. You know, unfortunately lost in the finals, but he's projected to be 133 pounds. He'll be filling in for AJ Vendici, who just graduated from Penn, and so he can sneak into that lineup and possibly have a true freshman year. You know, depending on where the coaches want to take him, he could wrestle this year. Maybe he wants to take a year off to redshirt. Really depends on, you know, his prerogative, the coach's prerogative. And another person who, you know, we could see wrestling this year, but I don't know, is Lucas Bird. So Lucas Bird was one of the last guys to make his college decision, and he is from Illinois. So or I'm sorry, he's from New Jersey going to Illinois, and he is a two-time state champ from New Jersey, from LaSalle High School. He wrestled some of the most of these top 6 tournaments. There isn't any guy who's wrestled all 6 in these top 25, except no exceptions. But there are a couple guys who've wrestled 3 or 4 of these tournaments, and Bird is one of those guys. He wrestled Super 32, Escape the Rock, and Ironman. Ironman he took second. The other tournaments he won, so he has wrestled very strong competition at all of those tournaments. Right now in the lineup at Illinois, Travis Petrosky, who is a senior, so he'll probably finish out his year. Bird will probably take a year to redshirt and build up some muscle, but he did very, very well. He has 3 wins over top-ranked wrestlers, including number 2 Ryan Crookham, and he was actually originally at Maryland. He was originally a Maryland recruit, which you've seen a couple of these guys. They say they're going somewhere early on and end up switching and going somewhere else. We see that happen fairly often. He was originally going to Maryland until the coach left, and then Bird ended up switching, going to Illinois. And somebody else who is going to a Big Ten school is Cam Amin. Cam Amin, related to the Amins from Michigan, is the number 17 recruit. Going to Michigan, originally from Detroit Catholic Central High School. He's a 3-time Michigan State champion, and he wrestled 152 pounds, the number 2 ranked guy in his weight class, and the number 17 recruit in the country. So, he wrestled, the only tournament that he wrestled in these top 6 was Super 32. When he didn't win it, he actually took second, lost to another top recruit you'll hear about is Connor Brady, lost to him. In the current lineup, it was Alec Pantelio at 157 pounds at Michigan, but now that Pantelio's graduated, Amin could step in there. Most likely he'll take that redshirt year, but you could see him stepping in there. And he actually won at the Pittsburgh Wrestling Classic, which is a big postseason dual meet, and he won there, wrestled very, very well. So we could see him doing some great things in the future. And the next guy, I think is very, unusual to hear about, but a very strong guy from Idaho. And his name is Rhys Loveit. So he is a 4-time Idaho state champion, one of the first guys to do that since the 90s, I believe. 4-time Idaho state champion, Loveit. He's number 3 ranked guy in his weight class, and although he didn't wrestle any of the top 6 tournaments, he still is ranked the number 16 recruit, and he's going to Nebraska, projected to wrestle at 141 pounds. Right now you have Chad Red there, so he's probably going to take that redshirt year or, go up or down. But right now, Loveit is looking at 141 pounds. And I'd like to see, a guy from Idaho do well. That's pretty cool. And I think he could wrestle very well. The fun thing that, I think a lot of these guys have very interesting stories. But as far as Loveit goes, he wrestled up 2 weight classes this year just to get some more competition and ended up winning that state title still. So that's pretty cool. And at number 15, kind of a funny picture here you'll see is Jacob Cardenas. So Cardenas is the number 1 ranked guy at his weight class at 195 pounds, projected to wrestle 197 in college at Cornell. Again, Cornell, another very, very strong school. So he is a 2-time state champion, and in the current lineup, you have Ben Honus of Cornell. So he actually graduated Honus, and you could see Cardenas stepping in here to wrestle at that weight class this year. More likely he'll take a red shirt, but you never know. And he actually transferred to Bergen to train with Chris Foca, who is another top-ranked recruit. He won Super 32 this year, took second at Beast, and he actually lost to AJ Ferrari, who is another guy, like I said, you'll be hearing a lot about from Blair. And so that is Jacob Cardenas, who is going to Cornell. The next guy, Parker Eisen, wrestled at 182 pounds in high school. He's the number 1 ranked recruit in his weight class. He's number 14 recruit overall, and he's going to Northern Iowa. Now, he actually didn't wrestle any of the top 6 tournaments. There's not really a crazy amount to talk about here. He was undefeated this year, of course. He was a 2-time state champion from Wisconsin, wrestled very, very well. But that's that for him. But at number 13, this is a pretty strong story here, because you have Connor Brady, who I mentioned a little bit earlier, beat one of the other top recruits at a tournament, wrestled at 2 of the top 6 tournaments. He won Super 32 and Ironman. Now, the interesting thing here is that he's from Ohio. He's won 0 state championships. He's been in the finals twice, been a runner-up, which is, still incredible, but he has 0 state championships. The only guy in the top 25 who has never won a state title. And he's going to Virginia Tech, and we could really see him, play out well. He's wrestling 160 pounds. He's 165 pounds. Of course, you have Mikhail Lewis there, who is a strong training partner. So although Brady's never won a state championship, what do you think? Do you think he won a national championship? I think it's totally possible, especially with training partners that he has in the room. Now, going on to the number 12 recruit, you have Matt Ogen, who's a number 3 ranked guy at his weight class at 160 pounds, projected to wrestle 165, could wrestle 157. You never know. At Fresno State. Now, Fresno State is a very interesting story this year, because I think they've had a very strong recruiting class. They're the top 10 ranked, one of the top in the top 10 ranked by Flow Wrestling as far as their team recruiting class, and you can see him wrestle really well. Now, Matt's wrestled very well on teams. He actually has 4 state straight titles, team titles, in California. He's also a 2-time individual state champion from California, and we can see him doing really well. At number 11, the first PA guy that we have, 2-time Pennsylvania state champion, in Ryan Anderson from Bethlehem Catholic, from Becca, is projected to wrestle 141 next year at Iowa State. Now, will he make the lineup? Will he not? Right now, Ian Parker's there. He's a junior, so he could beat him out. Maybe he takes a redshirt year just to get adjusted to the college atmosphere. Now, he has wrestled the most of the top 6 tournaments out of any other guy. He's wrestled 4 out of the top 6. Won 3 of them. Won 3 of these top 6 tournaments. He won Ironman. He won Escape the Rock. He won Beast of the East this year. And then he actually took 5th at Super 32 at the beginning of the year, which is fine because continuously he's gotten better and better and better and better. And, another interesting thing is at Ironman, he actually beat another top recruit in Jaden Abbas. He beat him at Ironman. So he's wrestled very, very well. You want to hear some other stats about him? He's a 3-time Super 32 placer and a 2-time Ironman placer. So this is a guy to reckon with, and in the number 11 spot. And next up, we have the top 10 recruits. So make sure you click over here to watch the top 10 recruits in the country and learn all about their stats, their figures, which tournaments they won, and which guys won international tournaments. There's so many stats to get into, so make sure you check that out.